to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart, rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride, the podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride, the podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride, the podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride, the podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
We're the one you way up. We are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart, rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride, the podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Ooh, Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride, the podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
So glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Think of Porsche on every day. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. We are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. The pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share.
All right, here we are, 2025, new car, new you, right?
Sounds like a resolution.
Yeah, you know what? New car, new you. Or was it new you, new car? Whatever you wanted to say. Welcome to Mohawk Table Talk. We're rocking and rolling. This is exciting because we're not off the air. We haven't been canceled yet.
That's right.
You know, people still like it.
What is this, episode 2 of 2025?
Episode 2 of 2025.
We're keeping track.
And we're talking about buying a new vehicle with the tax refund that's coming your way, right?
It is. Can you believe that it's tax season already? So everybody knows, right? Most companies get you your W-2 by the end of the month. So we're still mid-January. So we have some time.
Yep.
But there's certainly sources, and there's certainly there's certainly places where you can get tax refunds done really quickly.
Yeah. So the tax fund is about to be in your hand. And the question for most people is, should I put it into a new vehicle or a certified pre-owned vehicle, right? And today, on Mohawk Table Talk, we're going to talk about where is your tax dollars going to stretch the furthest on new or used. So I have my local car expert here, Mike O'Toole. And if you're listening on live, we'd love to hear your questions. Throw those in the comments. Also, if you're listening to us on Spotify, throw the questions our way. We do look at them. And make sure you like and follow us on all those platforms that you're watching
That's right.
or
And
listening.
we're gaining some momentum. Mohawk Table Talk. We started this last year, and we look forward to a really informative year. Bring you the tips and tricks and any info that we have about the car business. Some that you may love, some that you may not. But either way, it will be helpful. Like Nate mentioned, I'm Mike. This is Nate. We love bringing the latest and greatest in the car business to you every week. So, like we just talked about, it's tax time already. Well, it's almost tax time, but
Almost tax time. We're close.
it's certainly time to start thinking about it.
Yes.
Not just thinking about taxes or your tax refund, but how does that translate to maybe a new car for you?
Yeah. I feel like when you used to get your tax refund, it used to be, am I going to get a new TV? But as you grow up, you're like, man, I could
I'm not
probably.
there yet. I'm not grown up yet.
Mike's still looking for the TVs there.
That's right.
But, you're like, this is when you get the huge lump sum of cash from all of the money from your tax return. And you're like, you know what? Maybe it's time to look into a new car. And we're here to help you out.
Yeah, and in my experience, the reason why tax time is a good time to maybe make that jump into a new or pre-owned vehicle is because you may have that influx of cash, right? That you may not normally have budgeted throughout the rest of the year.
Mhm.
So I don't know about you, but me, if I get that influx of cash, it's certainly money that maybe I
It's
could
definitely
save.
nicer.
Yeah, it's
Definitely nicer
nice,
to have.
but because I just got it, I don't feel like I'm taking it out of like savings or checking
Right.
or whatever, right? I'm not cutting into the normal budget. So that down payment money is really what will make definitely help,
Right.
right? It'll definitely help make that vehicle decision. And if your vehicle, you either just want something new or it's time because hey, it needs a bunch of repairs, or maybe it's just not worth maybe not worth running another year with that old
Mhm.
beater. Why not make a decision about a different car in January?
Right. And a lot of times when the zero down is on the sheet, when you see those lease specials come out from the local dealerships, typically that doesn't include your tax, title,
That's right.
all of those admin fees that have to be taken care of. So the tax return, even if it's zero down, will help you achieve that payment that you might be looking for.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. And even if even if you have a really good tax return, you say, you know what, I'd like to get this car payment as low as physically possible,
Hmm.
right? So just going forward, that monthly amount is lower. Sometimes it's even lower than the current payment. So the business has been so robust in the last year to 2 years after COVID that we've returned to normal, right? So there's some predictive type of way to determine, hey, what's my current car worth, right? And both
Right.
stores have the ability to give you that information right on our website with getting a trade value or getting a value on your car. Also, coupled with the lease specials, we have a lot of tools at Mohawk Auto Group where you can get a lot of info just from searching, whether you're using your laptop, your computer, or you're on your couch watching that football game and just kind of scrolling. We have the ability to get you a lot of that info right up front.
Absolutely. And that's why you want to reach out to us because we are the experts here. And that's why you listen to Mohawk Table Talk so we can help you with any of those questions that you might have.
Absolutely. And both sites, both MohawkChevrolet.com and MohawkHonda.com, both have tools on there
Mm.
where you can calculate your own payment, whether it's a new vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle, whether it's a lease or a purchase. And if you have an estimate on what your tax return is going to be, you can put that amount right in the down payment and watch that payment drop. Right, you can put it in the down payment section, your tax return amount that is, and watch that monthly payment drop and kind of see. Or if you only want to use part of that tax return, save some, right? Maybe use some for that
Yeah.
down payment, save the rest for a rainy day or a summer vacay or something like that.
There we go.
You know,
That's right.
you're a vacay kind of guy, aren't you, Nate?
I don't know about that, but I mean, everybody likes a little bit of
Yeah,
vacation
right.
here and there.
You take the family, and I know I take the family.
I mean, I'm
it costs
definitely
some money.
looking on plan. I'm definitely planning on going on vacation.
Right.
So
I'm thinking way ahead.
Oh,
There's
I'm-
snow outside. It's snowing right now, and it's ice out there. So I'm thinking good, happy, warm thoughts.
yes, We're all going to Aruba.
So the mechanics of what to do with your tax return, certainly it's up to you. We have zero down options at both stores with new and pre-owned vehicles. But if you'd like to keep that monthly payment reduced, you can use some of that tax return that may not necessarily be budgeted for something else. And we're happy to give you a quote. You can get your own online, but if you want to talk to one of our folks that are happy to help at either store, we're happy to give you some more detailed info.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, you could probably expand a little bit on this with the new car and the used car market, because if I'm looking right at one of these, you hear these things like the used car market is stabilizing and all of these cars are going to be really great for you, and they're more attractive for buyers. Like, what do we mean when we say the used car market is stabilizing?
Yeah, well, what we mean in the business when we say it's stabilizing is that, especially with used cars, let's talk about used for a minute, is that in history, everybody knows that vehicle values decrease over a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you have a 5-year-old vehicle, it's not worth the same as it was right after you bought it. So because it decreases over time,
Decreases 50% as soon as I drive it off the lot.
yeah, well, that's definitely an old tale, but because the decrease was very sporadic over in that COVID time, the values would change, and that decrease didn't look like a little stair step. It looked kind of like an EKG, like up, down, sideways. What are we doing now?
Flatline.
Well, exactly. Now then, being normal means that the used vehicles, whether you own one or we have one on the lot, decreases a little bit, but just a tiny bit each month and then each year, but it's relatively predictable. So that's what we mean by normal. So there's a normal decrease instead of having something that's abnormal that looks like big spikes.
Right.
And the reason that that's good for somebody considering a vehicle is because there's a little bit of predictability, right? Whether you're getting your own value of your own vehicle, you get it today, maybe you don't buy a car for another couple weeks or a month or whatever. You don't see those crazy spikes in value. And conversely, if you're looking to purchase a vehicle, you can do some research. You can look around at vehicles and not have to worry that that price of that car that you're interested in is going to spike way up and you're going to have to pay a lot more, right? You're
Right.
going to see a normal pricing scheme there. So that's a really good thing. And that's what I call predictability. So there's some predictability in the market, right?
Right.
Just like stocks or anything.
Yep.
Nobody knows for sure. But there's certainly the trends have been that it was relatively predictive at the end of 2024, and we see that continuing all through this year. So that's a whole lot of boring stuff to say. Hey, just plan ahead, and you can find a decent value. Just do your research, and we're happy to help with that.
Well, this is why, we're talking about it, right? This is why you're on Mohawk Table Talk, because you want to know about what's going on, what should I be looking out for, and this predictability factor. And there's a lot of things that might be still up in the air in terms of EV and am I going to get more tax credit? Because if the tax credit is still there, you're going to have that on top of the rebate that you're getting. So you're essentially, whatever it was, $7,500 from the federal. I'm not sure what it was for state. Was it like 500 or something?
500
It was something around there.
Vehicles, yeah.
So you had that on top of this rebate. I don't think they got rid of the federal yet.
Correct.
Okay, so that's still there. So get it while it's hot type of deal. We still have Prologues. We still have all of the EVs at our Chevrolet store as well. So make sure you're taking a look at that, because that's just extra money that's going towards a newer car.
That's right. And as we talk about the new car market, a few minutes ago, I was saying used car, there's some predictability. Like Nate just mentioned, that EV, or what they call clean vehicle federal tax credit, is currently available on most models that Mohawk sells. I am certainly not a tax professional, so I would encourage you to visit the tax website, the government website, to get all the exact answers. But in summary, we know that there is a federal tax credit available on new vehicles like the new Honda Prologue right now. Certainly, if there are any changes to that, the availability or any changes to anything, you certainly want to consult a tax professional before you make that decision. But should you decide to get a vehicle right away, we can certainly answer those questions now. We just can't predict what's going to happen in the future. So
maybe we should get a CPA on here next episode.
We could get a CPA, or we can put a crystal ball right here and just
Let's do
straight
that.
No, that's probably not the best.
Let's get the
bet.
crystal ball. That's more fun.
Probably not very reliable though.
Not reliable at all.
Right.
It was just guessing at that point. But that's a good one. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Also, as it has to do with new cars, as we're talking about, is this a good time to use part of that tax return or the whole tax return to buy a vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, we're a little bit biased, but what we know about the industry is that new vehicles, just talking about new now, the day's supply, which reflects how many cars are on the lot available for sale, has increased, which means there's more cars available on dealer lots in the country for sale. And usually when there's a lot of cars, that's a good time for somebody to buy.
Right.
Right?
Well, we're trying to move them, get rid of them.
Yes.
And outpace everybody else. So
For two main reasons that we know why when there's a lot of cars, it's good to buy. For one, selection.
yep.
So if you want that pearl red with the tan interior, with the cool wheels and all that stuff, if there's a lot of cars out there, there's a good chance you can find it.
Yep.
I don't
Step
know-
one,
I don't
find
know
the car
about-
that
I
you
don't know
actually
about pearl red. I was just talking about myself.
You
But
want pro red?
yeah,
You're a red guy?
yeah. Well, because you can't find them, right? You got a
Mm.
lot of grays and
You don't-
silvers. and
Silvers, yep.
they all blend in.
Yeah.
I want to stand out.
Mm.
All right. So
Well, I as well. For anyone who doesn't know, we have the social media response vehicle at Mohawk.
ooh,
That sucker is bright
see that
orange,
coming.
with a nice graphic on it. It looks like I'm exploding through a bunch of social media icons. So I like to stand out as well.
I love it.
I do
love it.
like orange cars.
So selection, but it didn't come from the factory like that.
No.
Where did we get that done?
But Mohawk, well, we do get that at Rap Kings, right? Rap Kings is
Kings.
definitely going to wrap that for you. However, I did notice that you can buy, and we have a post up on our Chevrolet page. I'll have to get the link for it, but we have a post of one of our employees, Dylan Harridan, next to 3 unique colors. There's a green teal that you can get, a yellow you can get, and an orange, a bright orange. I'm calling it like safety cone orange.
Wow.
Silverados that you can get. I'm not sure if it's just for municipalities and commercial vehicles, but I've definitely seen those colors that come from factory on Silverados. So if you want to stand out, we can get those for you too.
Is that a social post yet?
It's definitely a social
smell
post,
an
but
idea.
we should repost that.
Where's our producer? Oh, there he is. He's back there.
Oh yeah, he's
He's,
our 2
he's taking
producers.
notes.
One producer's doing his work. The other one's probably watching Squid Games over there.
So maybe not. So whether it's crazy, whether it's some of those colors, which I love that. I love
Yeah.
that stand out. Nate's vehicle definitely stands out. So whether it's that red
Well,
color.
our producer has a bright red color.
Okay.
Jared in the background has a
does,
bright
he
red
does.
Silverado Trey Boss.
And so, as I was saying, the two reasons why it's why
Anyway, sorry,
having
rant
a lot
all
of inventory
over.
is a good thing is selection.
Yep.
Whether it's one of those colors or not or whatever. So vehicle selection, that means the chances that you have to compromise are very low. Meaning you probably don't have to compromise on what you want. If you want something, tell your dealer, tell us. We probably can get it. We probably have it. That's a good thing. The second reason is incentives, right? Discounts. We both know that dealers want to move inventory, right? It's a lot like a bakery, right? If you make too much bread, we got to we got to move them, right? 'Cause we
The
can't keep 'em
day old
forever.
bagels are a lot
Yeah.
cheaper than the day of bagels. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Day old is okay. I picked those.
Well,
I picked those up sometimes.
Well, day old's
car-
okay. What I'm saying is that there's no day old for obviously vehicles,
Yeah.
but the
They don't
same
go bad,
concept
they don't
apply, right? Bagels actually have a shorter life period, shorter lifespan, right? So you gotta get rid of them.
Well, you just
day
gotta
after.
heat them up a little bit.
Yeah, put them in the toaster
Right.
and the microwave.
I'm not sure how we got on this, but anyway,
day old supply.
that's right. So when there's more supply, when dealers have more inventory, I can certainly speak for the Honda store. When we have more inventory, we certainly have those specials posted, those lease deals, those whatever we have available to us. We're going to put them online. We're going to let everybody know because if I were buying something, I'd want to have a reason why I wanted to buy it. If maybe I was only thinking about it,
Right.
what's going to move me to that next step could be the deal. So selection coupled with great deals, those are 2 really good reasons why this time of year, tax time, you put that together with tax time, There you go. You have a recipe for some savings and a lower payment than you might have if you bought it, if you bought it at a different time in the year.
Well, I will say that you don't really want to buy a used bagel, you know. You want it
That's a
might,
very good point.
but you can
Tip
buy a used car.
tip of the day: don't buy used bagels.
Day old bagels is fine,
From-
but used
Tip of
bagels
the
is
day
not
from Hank,
fine.
That's right.
but you can buy pre-owned vehicles, and that's okay.
That's right. That's right. In a predictive manner. So again, that's the reason that that's good for, especially for used vehicles. If we're talking about used vehicles that Mohawk sells, especially the Honda store or Chevrolet, Mohawk Honda features Honda certified pre-owned vehicles,
Right.
and Mohawk Chevrolet features Car Bravo certified vehicles, both with excellent factory backing to the quality check that's been completed before you buy the vehicle. Warranties are included, extra perks are included. All the details are on both of our websites, and we're happy to tell you about them when you come in. So you add peace of mind to your tax return, to plenty of selection, to any deals that are available. Now we've hit four of the reasons why it makes sense
We're hitting
to
a
use
bunch
this
of
center.
factors, and I think one of the major things that you kind of like glanced over with the pre-owned vehicles, it's not like going to buy a vehicle off of someone's got it on the side of the road and it says for sale by owner, right? When we take in the vehicle, we are actually doing a full check over the vehicle. We put it up on a lift. Our technicians take a look at it. They change things out that need to be changed. And with certifications like Car Bravo or a certified pre-owned, was it True Certified? We call it
Correct. Honda
from
True certified.
Honda True Certified. The technicians have to go through a certain amount of checkpoints. For Honda, it's 182. And I think, and I believe we'll get the actually specifics, but Car Bravo has its own specific checklist, as well as Chevrolet Car Bravo. Car Bravo has its own, and Certified Pre-Owned has its own amount of checkpoints to make sure that when you drive the vehicle off the lot, you're not going to have any issues.
And even better than that, besides it being done and you trusting your local dealer that we completed it and everything passed with flying colors, is that in both cases, you get a copy of that checklist.
Right.
So you might remember when you're buying the vehicle in January or February or whatever, but years from now, when you remember when you bought the vehicle, you'll still have that along with your owner's manual and all the owner's info. So make sure you look out for that. That certainly is something that you would get at a certified dealer like Mohawk Auto Group, either Honda or Chevrolet, that you may not get if you just buy that car off Craigslist or
Right.
any other place. So
Chances are you won't. You could probably
Probably not.
you could buy the Carfax, but yeah, there's a lot more that goes into the Carfax than just the
That's right.
service. You know exactly. And if you're buying a certified pre-owned from Honda, we have our master technicians that are taking a look at it, that are trained professionally to make sure that the vehicle is repaired properly. And the same thing, our world-class technicians at Chevrolet can take a look at those Chevys that are, and the other vehicles are obviously backed, but our Chevrolet technicians, world-class technicians, are trained to make sure that the Chevrolet that you're driving off the lot is top notch before you're driving off and you're like, oh, what did they actually do on it? Did they do anything?
Yep, that's a very good point. And like we touched on last week when we're talking about year-end stats, the industry experts expect 2025 to be one of the largest volume sales for certified vehicles.
Mm,
So to me, what that means is that you can buy a new vehicle whenever you want. You can buy a used car whenever you want. But the prospectus is that people will see the value in buying that slightly used, if that's the right way to put it, year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old vehicle, in comparison to its life cycle. That's slightly used, and if you back it with a factory warranty and a factory checklist from a certified factory dealer like Mohawk Honda or Chevrolet, that bodes a lot. So peace of mind is very important.
yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I make a monthly payment on something, I'd hope that that's the only thing that I'm going to pay for, and I
Yes.
don't have to pay for other stuff besides that, right?
Oh yeah.
Who likes extra expenses or fees?
Well,
Those fees will
you
get
got
you
that
every time.
monthly payment on your house, and then you got to get a boiler and
Oh,
all of that. But if you live in upstate New York, right around freezing temperatures, you're like, oh boy,
Or a furnace, right?
the furnace is going on, the boiler is going on. Let's hope that the thermocouple is working. Let's hope that I'm going to have hot water. My pipes aren't going to freeze. That's not the case with buying a used vehicle that has that warranty.
That's right, right. And I again, certainly am biased on considering pre-owned. New is stupendous. There's nothing to talk about new. It's like right out of the wrapper, right? Brand new from the factory. But pre-owned, and I'll hit you with a quick fun fact on Bet You Didn't Know.
Oh,
Bet
already
you didn't
moving there,
know.
huh?
Yeah,
All
well,
right. Bet you didn't know.
it's kind of relevant. Bet you didn't know, and this is car related. Usually, I like to go off topic a little bit, but this is car related. Did you know that in the first 24 months of ownership, from when a car is new, first 2 years, that most vehicles on average reduce the price is reduced in terms of what you could pay for it by about 20%. 20%. So for somebody that follows this depreciation curve like I do, when somebody buys a vehicle that's new, the value is here. And then there's a bit of a decline in those first 4 to 5 years, but then it kind of evens off.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
and there's no right or wrong time to buy a vehicle. It's up to each person. Some people like that new because it's brand new and there's a lot of value there to them. If I'm buying a new car, there's a lot of value to me on buying that new car.
Right.
But a lot of folks see that, geez, maybe it's not brand new, but maybe it's still new enough. It has super low mileage. It has that warranty coverage like a certified car. So I'm kind of like on that down curve. You could certainly wait and buy an older vehicle, but with older vehicle comes more risk, right?
Right.
For anybody, for me, for anybody that's looking at an older vehicle. So just keep that in mind. But that's an interesting bet you didn't know, and that's an industry average, 20% difference in price from a new vehicle to a 2-year-old vehicle.
So what about, we talked about that curve, right?
Yeah.
So when does it kind of like stabilize? You said like 5, 6
And
years?
it kind of depends on the vehicle too, right?
Right.
The good news is that we have folks here, including myself at the Honda store, and we have folks at the Chevy store that will happily review things like that with you on a per vehicle basis. Because there's certainly a difference. If I think about some cars that we have sitting out here, like a Honda Civic, right? That curve may look a little bit different, than a vehicle that may not be around anymore, like an Oldsmobile or a Saturn
Right.
or whatever. Pick your extinct vehicles, right? That curve may look much more drastic.
Right,
you know?
right.
So a lot of things are factors in that, including supply and demand and parts and a lot of stuff. So we're in upstate New York, so certainly 4-wheel drives, SUVs, and trucks probably have a bit more demand than maybe a convertible, maybe not. Convertible is useful for a few months a year here, but
and
just not
I feel like
year-round.
those kind of hold their value a little bit more,
Maybe.
right? Because it's like that's more of a
It's like a specialty car.
specialty car, pleasure car. Like you're gonna take it out only in certain
It's like
times.
a toy.
Oh,
That was right. People used to call them a toy, I
Toy
guess, an extra
cars?
car. I don't. I don't have an extra car, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you have space for it. I don't have space.
well, if it's a drop top, then you could drive it all year round. But chances are they might you might be a little bit chillier in the wintertime, and it's probably going to be rear wheel drive. So
That's right.
you may not want to have that as your
rear
main
drive
vehicle.
for the performance. Well, unless it's like Civic Type R isn't a drop top or convertible that I know of. But unless it's like a Type R or something like that. And then you get some all-wheel or front-wheel drive performance.
But then, I mean, that's not a drop top. So even though that might be a toy car, you can still drive that all year round. I mean, it's a front wheel drive, right?
Yeah.
The Honda Civic is a front wheel drive.
Right.
So I was always told if you're going to have a 2-wheel drive, let it be a front wheel drive than a rear wheel drive. So
I drive an Accord, and it moves just fine all year round.
I have a great story about, I had a 2007 Honda Civic, and it was a couple years, it was probably, at this point, it was about 8.5 years ago. And it was the snowstorm of the century. It was like 4 feet or whatever it was.
Oh.
And I was driving between locations of my then job, and there were like 3 people off the road. And I'm just
Here he comes.
here I come.
Civic.
I'm just coming down my Civic, and there's like these SUVs off the side of the road and trucks, and you're like, huh, Sucks to suck, Europe.
That's we didn't even touch on the on service recently, but Nate probably had some good tires on his car and was ready for winter. We touched on that a few
They
episodes
definitely
ago.
were new tires.
Yeah, that's a whole
new
nother
tires,
whole
and
nother topic.
that will help you, right? So
Absolutely. So whether you're maintaining your current vehicle and you said, Mike, Nate, that's great and all about the used cars and the certified and the new and all that, but I'm sticking with what I got. Maybe that tax return will help you perform that maintenance that you've been putting off
right,
for a year.
yeah, there you go.
Tip from the professionals: do not put off maintenance.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Even if you don't want to buy another vehicle, whether it's a Honda or Chevy or anything else, do not put off maintenance. So important. I mean, that's the I don't know about you, but that's the way I get anywhere. You know, take care of my family, take care of get to work. So do not put off maintenance, and make sure you're safe out there. So make sure you get your vehicle winterized, because I don't think we're anywhere close to winter being over.
No, it's just starting actually.
It's just starting.
I think we had a few cold days, but now we're actually hitting the actual daily cold days.
That's right. Now it's just
now
it's just constant.
the tundra's working its way in.
Right. Talk about predictability. Guess what? It's going to be cold tomorrow and the next day and next week.
There you go. Predictability. It's coming, everybody.
Whew. Well, that's a lot.
That's a lot. New, used. Where are you putting your tax?
That's right. We talked about tax returns and how that can be useful, whether you're buying a vehicle or servicing it. We certainly, again, ourselves here and our folks at Mohawk Chevy and Mohawk Honda, we're not tax professionals, but we can certainly, if you have that tax return and you'd like to know how that affects your next purchase, we're happy to assist with that and give you some options at least.
Yeah, and the main questions you should ask yourself when you are looking at a new or used vehicle, what's your budget, right? Because the budget's going to determine how long do you plan on keeping the car, and are there any specific features that you absolutely have to have? That's going to determine whether you're going to go certified pre-owned or if you're going to go new. Because if you are constantly thinking about the latest and greatest safety technology, a 3-year lease might be the best option for you.
That's true.
Right? Or if you plan on just like, if you're that person that just says, I don't need technology in my car, the car just needs to get me from A to B and it just has to drive, right? Then certified pre-owned is going to probably be the best option for you. But you have to think about that for yourself.
Yeah. So your wants and your needs and what's most important. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of I have a combination of both. Like there's some things I definitely want, and there's some things I definitely need, and I want to mesh them together.
Right.
So between the two stores, between our selection of new vehicles, pre-owned, the specials we have out there, the inventory surplus that we have, we got to have something for everybody.
We do. We definitely have enough for everybody, and make sure you're checking out what we're posting if you haven't already. If you're just hopping on live, welcome to Mohawk Table Talk. If you're listening here on Spotify, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. We want your comments. We want your feedback. So make sure you do that. And we're just happy you're here. And we hope that you get a lot of value out of this podcast.
And if you do have any suggestions, again, in the comments or whether you're live about topics that you'd like to see us chat about, we're happy to. We are your local industry experts here at Mohawk Table Talk. So feel free to put the comments in about any topic or specific question that you have, and we're happy to address it in the next episode.
Let's go over 2 probably common questions that people ask.
Sure.
Are warranties on certified pre-owned cars as good as the ones on new cars?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Okay.
And the reason that they're as good is because they are factory backed. And so there's a difference, not to get too crazy here, but there's a difference between a warranty that goes with the vehicle that's backed. Let's use Honda, for example. So a certified pre-owned Honda has a factory-backed warranty. And what that means is that when you take delivery of that vehicle, when you buy that vehicle, the warranty is stamped right to the DNA of that vehicle, right? So whether you come back here or you're traveling or move somewhere and you go to another Honda dealer, the warranty is valid and it's in the Honda system. It's right in the Honda system. You don't need to bring anything. In fact, a family member or a friend could even bring the vehicle in for service and it's covered. So that's the difference between, maybe a warranty or vehicle service contract that you buy off the internet or something, and what a factory backed warranty coverages on a certified pre-owned vehicle. So we're certainly biased, but I believe that that factory warranty is better than a non-factory warranty.
Absolutely. Um, so then Noah says as good, and I kind of will um expand on this just a little bit. Do you think certified pre-owned are better than new cars? This
Ooh,
is personally
eh,
opinionated only. This is not fact.
that's well, and it's to each their own, right? But if somebody said what would be the reasons why
Yeah.
certified might be better, the reasons that certified might be better, if we, again, I'll just use Honda as an example. The certified warranty coverage was just enhanced last quarter. Honda enhanced it for everybody, for all the people who purchased certified going forward. So with a new vehicle, a new Honda, right, brand new Honda. Just to quickly summarize and all the details, you can ask us about further details and coverage and things like that. But if you buy a brand new Honda, when you drive off the lot, you get either 3 years or up to 36,000 miles, whichever comes first, of what they call basic coverage, which is all the electronics, major moving mechanical parts, and so forth, other than maintenance. And you also receive at the same time up to 5 years or 60,000 miles of powertrain coverage, which includes driveline, engine, the mechanical moving parts of those components. So that's a pretty good warranty that comes with a
Yeah.
brand new car, right? If you buy a certified pre-owned vehicle, Honda certified pre-owned vehicle, now you're back to that full coverage warranty. Honda adds an additional 2 years on top of anything that's remaining. So if you have a remaining warranty on that certified vehicle, like for example, the vehicle only has 20,000 miles on it now, you'd get the remaining up to 36,000 miles, and then you'd get up to 100,000 miles of that full coverage warranty. That would be the mileage,
Hmm.
or 2 additional years on top of anything that's remaining. So if the vehicle's only being serviced for 2 years and you have another year left, they add another 2 years on top of that, you get 3 years. So it's a little bit of a math equation,
Yep.
but in that scenario, the Honda certified pre-owned gets you more warranty coverage
Right.
than a brand new car. So that might be the reason why
There you
a
go.
certified pre-owned is better.
Interesting.
It is. It is. It's kind of a slide scale. And any of the vehicles that we have, we're happy to let you know exactly what the coverage is that you'd get with a certified pre-owned, because you could also get a vehicle that's a little bit older for a little less money and still have it be certified,
Right.
but you get at minimum 2 years or up to 100,000 on the odometer, which is really nice.
There you go. Well, there's a bunch of interesting facts that you should take into account when you're thinking about whether or not am I going to go pre-owned or am I going to go new. And moving on to the last question, and then I think we're pretty much wrapped up. Is it do you? I don't know if you know this. We might have to ask somebody else, but do you know if it's easier to finance a new car than a used one?
There's no set answer to that. There actually are times where it's easier to finance a new vehicle, specifically a Honda vehicle, than maybe a pre-owned vehicle, whether regardless of what the pre-owned is.
Right.
And the reason is when banks look at approvals and they're considering approving you for a loan, there are a lot of factors they look at, but one of the factors is the value of the vehicle,
Right.
right? So, for example, if somebody wanted to buy a new car that was $25,000 or a used car that was $24,000, the bank might see more value in terms of what the vehicle is actually worth to them in the new car.
Hmm.
So that bank might say, geez, we'd rather approve this customer on the new car because as the bank's collateral, that might be a better decision for them. So, without going too much into it, each bank has its own determining factors on whether that's the case, but it's certainly possible. We have seen cases where folks were approved on a new car,
Yeah.
and maybe the approval wasn't as good. Maybe they were still approved, but it wasn't as good on the used car. And a lot of times rates can be a little bit lower, even if approval isn't a problem. Sometimes rates can be a little bit lower on a new car.
Huh.
So definitely something to consider, and we're happy to review that with you at either store, because each case is a little bit different.
Right. And all this to say, a lot of planning a lot of planning goes into should I get a pre-owned versus a new car, and we're happy to help you out in whichever way. We want to make sure that you understand the car buying process, and that's why we made this show. Right? We want to make sure that you're informed, that you have all the tools you need to become an informed buyer, because we know that informed buyers make better decisions, and it, we can help you out. Right? It's easier for us to help you out if we know what you're looking for. So all of that to be said, Mohawk Table Talk, second episode of the year. Thank you so much for watching. You have any last words for our viewership out there?
Do we have a teaser for next week?
Let's have a teaser for next week.
There is so much technology in these new vehicles, right? It's like that new phone, like that new cell phone, right?
Yes.
Like the new cell phone that came out last week. Next week there'll be an update. Anyway, we're certainly going to add that to the agenda for next week.
Yep.
Some of the new technology in some of these cars is just mind blowing. We were chatting a little bit about it last week about the recent the recent
Honda
electronics.
Honda drops.
Yeah.
Honda just came out with the Honda Zero project. I don't know if anyone saw that, but essentially they're working towards autonomous driving by 2030.
Phew.
And these new ones that they came out with literally look like they're from the future. And
Futuristic cars already.
yeah, I mean, you know, we first saw the initial futuristic style car from Tesla, and Tesla continues to make these weird looking ones like the Cybertruck, and Honda apparently wanted to get on board. So they have the Honda Saloon and the Honda Space Hub.
Ooh, that's a
Uh,
teaser.
so take a look at those. We can get the link for you to take a look at the drop that they did at CES, and tune in next time. So next week we'll definitely explore the top features to look for in 2025 models, from advanced safety tech to connected driving systems. Thank you so much. Follow us on social media for all of the updates Mohawk Auto Group has to offer. Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet, Rap Kings, and Collision Center. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in. Mike and Nate here from Mohawk Table Talk. We'll see you next time on our next episode.
See you next week.